Hi, I'm really excited to share with you that we are going to be holding the 3D Design Challenge virtually this year. So, if you don't know me, I'm Nicole Bond. I'm the Educational Technology Specialist here at Lincoln Intermediate Unit 12. You see my contact information right here on the slide. So, if you have any questions about this virtual 3D Design Challenge, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. So I'd like to talk a little bit about what the 3D Design Challenge is, as well as the rules, requirements, how it's going to roll this year, and so that I can answer any of your questions preemptively. So first of all, if you're not familiar with our 3D Design Challenge, we have held it before. And usually what would happen is everyone would pour into the IU and they would be given a challenge on that day and they would design and print that challenge within that time period. The challenge is a mystery. We don't typically tell everyone until they arrive. So what we're doing this year is we're going to be holding the challenge until you register. So at the end of registration, the challenge will be revealed. So what is the challenge? The challenge is going to be around designing a thing to meet that needs of whatever the problem or the prompt is, and then printing it. And I'll give you the details of the requirements that are involved with that. But this is the basic rundown of what it's going to look like virtually. It's just you're going to submit everything as a link instead. So the logistics. This is open K through 12. So I want to reiterate that all of our students are welcome to submit to this particular competition. There is a maximum of 4 to a group. So it can be anywhere from 1 to 4 students who enter. And these are the age divisions. You'll notice there that 6 is repeated twice. If you have a 6th grade class, we encourage you to register with the division that best meets your school building. Registration will open on March 31st. So I will be sharing a form with you. You won't be able to access it until March 31st, but I will show you where it is. The project due date is May 7th. So at May 7th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the form for submissions will close. And then our virtual awards ceremony will be held May 14th. What this means is you have the entirety of the month of April to design and print a product which will meet the needs of the mystery challenge, which will be revealed at registration. What will you need to submit? You will be given a Google submission form in which you will want to link out these 3 pieces. The first is the STL file for printing, and that's as simple as uploading it to Google Drive or to OneDrive and making sure that the link is accessible before submitting it. If you need help, again, you have my contact information at the beginning of this video. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Second, a 3-minute maximum presentation around whatever this product is. So in those, a maximum of 3 minutes, it can be recorded and linked, and it can be linked from a Google Drive, it can be linked from YouTube, it can be linked from Flipgrid, just needs to be accessible for our judges. And then number 3 is a link to a folder with media releases for participants. And I will show you exactly where you can find those. It would be nice if they were all in one folder so we can easily access and make sure that we have the media release, or we don't, for each individual student who is participating. So for the project, the next piece I'd like to show you is the scoring rubric. So the 3D printing challenge, it's going to be evaluated on something called a single point rubric, which means that there's only one single point that's given to you, the proficiency point, and you're either at it, above it, or below it. So let me show you this particular rubric. This is the rubric which will be shared with you, and which the judges will be using to offer feedback. They will be able to type feedback on either side, but allow me to go through the categories and the description. So the first category that you'll see that you're evaluated on for this particular competition is originality. And that is the idea that this particular piece, whatever it is you design, does not already exist within the public sphere. So understandably, there are some things that we might see here and there that are borrowed, that we know are great designs that already exist. But we're really looking for something that's one of a kind and unique that we haven't seen before. And the next category is about regards the number of people who are potentially impacted. So again, it's about how many people we could potentially impact with this piece. Is it only a very small group of people who might find whatever this is useful? Or will this potentially impact the entire country or the entire world? So that is another piece that the judges will be looking at. Practicality is the idea of whether or not this is something that the average person in the average world is going to be able to utilize, or does it require 4 or 5 steps to use it properly? So that idea of a design being practical is how well will it work? Is it actually something that people would use? Next is the design or engineering design process. It should be very clear in your presentation and throughout the materials that have been submitted that your process is complete, that a complete design or engineering process has been used. So we'll be looking for those different steps to be communicated in some fashion, probably in the presentation. Next is the expertise of application of software and of hardware. So at an age-appropriate level, we're looking to see that some sort of CAD software was used effectively in an expert way for a particular grade level, and that the printing similarly is showing that that expertise of application, that clearly you knew how to use that 3D printer. And lastly is the independence of work. So we'll be looking to see, is it really clearly evident through the design and really through that presentation piece that the students received age-appropriate and limited guidance. Mentor may have pointed them in some directions to find materials and resources and learn more about their 3D design, but it was clear to us that the students owned this work, that it is really their creation, their design, their thought process that really fueled what they created for us. So this is the single point rubric which judges will use to evaluate. I have also linked out, and this is going to be on our student competitions page, which I'm going to show you, the resources from our previous competition in 2018 and 2019, just in case you'd like to see how we've done it before when it was face-to-face. That there's an archive of those competition materials at this short link and as well out on our student competitions page. There were 14 schools and districts and 23 different schools, 24 different teams competed in this original challenge back in 2018 and 2019. So we're very excited to see what it might look like virtually since we can't do it face-to-face. So all of the resources that you're going to need, including this video probably, are going to be found at our 3D Design Challenge page. So the short link that you see right here will take you out to the competitions page where you can find that 3D Design Challenge page. And here it is. So you'll notice it says register here. What I would like to point out is when you do click register here, it's going to bring up the form and just remind you that it's not open for registration until March 31st. On March 31st, when you click here, you'll be able to register yourself and your students in order to obtain this challenge. As you look through here, you're also going to find that the rubric is in here, along with all of those requirements which I shared with you, and the archive to those past 3D challenges if you are looking for it. The media release form, which I'd like to highlight since I mentioned that, and it's one of the pieces that needs to be turned in, can be found right here on the 3D Design Competition website as well. So I'd like to thank you for listening to this quick synopsis. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me in case you're wondering and want to see that contact information again. It's right there. Please feel free to shoot me an email if you have questions prior to this registration on March 31st, or you'll want to find out a little bit more about the 3D Design Challenge. We're really looking forward to seeing what students design this year. Thank you.